What if humans had scales like fish? Imagine waking up one morning, stretching your arms, and noticing that your skin no longer feels soft and smooth. Instead, it's covered in overlapping, shimmering scales like a fish, a snake, or a dragon from mythology. The colors shift with the light, from deep greens to metallic silvers, and when you move, they make a faint, subtle rustling sound. In this alternate world, every single human is born with scales instead of the skin we know today. How would this change our lives, our health, our culture, and even our evolution? Let's explore this scaly reality in detail. First, let's think about biology. Human skin, as we have it now, is an organ that protects us, regulates our temperature, and allows us to feel touch. If we had scales, our bodies would have a completely different outer layer. Scales in nature are usually made of keratin-like in reptiles or bone-like material like in fish. In humans, this would mean our skin might be much tougher, offering better protection against injuries, sunburn, and environmental hazards. Paper cuts gone. Mosquito bites. Forget about it, most insects wouldn't be able to pierce through. But there's a catch. Our sense of touch would likely be different. In our current skin, we have millions of nerve endings that detect textures, temperature, and pressure. With scales, those sensations might be muted. We could still feel vibrations and heavier impacts, but we might lose the ability to sense the gentle brush of a breeze or the softness of fabric. This could change how we experience emotions connected to touch. Hugging, holding hands, or even feeling the warmth of a loved one's skin would be different. Now, let's think about climate. Scales can be great in hot, dry environments because they help retain moisture, which is why reptiles thrive in deserts. If humans had scales, we'd be much less likely to dehydrate. Our ancestors might have spread more quickly across arid regions without worrying about losing water through sweat. However, cooling our bodies might become trickier. In our real world, sweating helps us regulate temperature, but with scales, sweating might be minimal or non-existent. We might evolve alternative cooling methods, like opening microscopic gaps between scales to release heat, or developing reflective scale patterns that bounce sunlight away. In cold climates, scales could offer extra insulation, especially if they had a layer of natural oils. Imagine people in snowy areas with thick, overlapping scales that trap warmth like armor. We might even develop seasonal scale changes, shedding lighter summer scales for heavier winter ones, similar to how some animals shed fur. Then there's water. So with scales, we'd likely be much better swimmers. Just like fish and dolphins have streamlined bodies, our scale-covered skin could reduce drag in water. Whole civilizations might develop along coastlines, rivers, and lakes, relying heavily on fishing, diving, and underwater exploration. Some humans might even evolve partial gill-like structures to complement their aquatic abilities. Competitive swimming could become one of the most prestigious sports in the world. From a cultural perspective, scales would completely change our standards of beauty. Instead of clear, smooth skin being considered attractive, people might admire symmetry, shine, or unique scale patterns. Just as humans today have different hair colors and eye shapes, in a scale world, we could have dazzling variations: smouled green, sapphire blue, golden bronze, or even scales that change color with mood or temperature, much like a chameleon. Fashion would adapt too. Instead of soft fabrics against bare skin, clothing might be designed to highlight or frame scale patterns, leaving more skin exposed to show off the natural armor. Jewelry could evolve into scale ornaments, tiny pieces that clip between scales, beads that dangle from scale edges, or shimmering powders that add extra sparkle. There might even be scale salons where people polish, paint, or temporarily reshape their scales for special events. Wedding traditions could involve partners engraving a pattern into a few of each other's scales as a sign of lifelong bond. But let's not forget the practical side. Scales could offer protection in combat or dangerous environments. Police, soldiers, and explorers might rely less on body armor because their natural scales already shield them from blades or blunt force. However, medical care would have to adapt. Doctors couldn't simply inject medicine through the skin. They need specialized tools to get past the scales. Even taking a pulse might be more challenging. Hygiene would also be different. Scales, just like in reptiles, might need regular shedding. Humans could molt once or twice a year, replacing old scales with fresh ones. Imagine shedding season becoming a public event, people spending a week in warm baths, or using special tools to help the process. Maybe even turning the discarded scales into decorative art or fertilizer. Scales could also bring new problems. If dirt or bacteria got trapped between them, infections could spread quickly. Specialized scale brushes and cleansing oils would be part of daily life. People might go to public bathhouses designed with steam rooms to loosen scales for cleaning. Psychologically, scales could change our perception of vulnerability. Right now, we know our skin can be injured easily, so we take care to avoid harm. With scales, humans might be more physically fearless, leading to more adventurous exploration, but also more reckless behavior. Technology could also merge with scales. In the future, humans might embed tiny sensors or lights directly into the surface of our scales, creating bioarmor that doubles as wearable tech. Your scales could display notifications, glow in the dark, or even act as a personal camouflage system, blending into surroundings for stealth. In terms of evolution, if humans had always had scales, history would look very different. Ancient warriors would have fought without heavy armor. Migration patterns might have shifted toward harsher climates earlier. Cultures based around fishing, diving, and water travel might have dominated history. Myths and legends could have painted humans as dragon descendants rather than being in the image of hairless primates. Even space exploration could be different. Scales could protect astronauts from micrometeor impacts and radiation better than our current skin, reducing the need for heavy suits. Colonizing other planets might be easier with built-in biological armor. On the downside, intimacy and emotional bonding might evolve differently. Since skin contact plays a huge role in human connection, people with scales might need to develop new forms of expressing closeness, pressing foreheads together, interlocking fingers between scales, or exchanging polished scale fragments as keepsakes. In the end, a world where humans had scales would be both strange and beautiful. We'd be tougher, more adaptable, and possibly more in tune with nature. Our societies, cultures, and technologies would grow around this biological difference, shaping a version of humanity that is both familiar and alien. The next time you see a lizard basking in the sun, or a fish gliding effortlessly through the water, imagine yourself in their place, strong, protected, and shimmering in the light. Would it make life easier, harder, or simply more extraordinary?